Hello everyone, my name is the Ultimate Spy, and welcome to another Crisis on Infinite Earths Arrowverse Crossover video. So this is going to be my review on both parts 4 and 5 of the crossover, and oh my god, wow, so much happened. I normally would do, a review for each episode, but they aired back to back, so there really is no point in doing each episode separately. But like, wow, so much happened in part 3 and part 4. I mean, more happened in part 4 than in part 3, but like, wow. Okay, so part 3 was basically just about, getting to the dawn of time. They're entering the Speed Force, all that stuff, and trying to figure out how to get everyone back, everything like that. Bear went to the Speed Force, and Oliver as the Spectre, not the Green Arrow, as the Spectre. He was kind of like there to like help him get through the Speed Force, and there were a lot of Easter eggs. Obviously, like when Barry first appeared on Arrow for the first time, you could hear his dialogue. That was incredible. And then he went back to the Invasion crossover. Like, I mean, they don't actually see the crossover happen, but you kind of see like Oliver and Kara in their previous season outfits. Like Oliver in a season 6 outfit without the actual like quiver thing, and then Kara in her old outfit from season 1 before. I guess she doesn't actually have her hairstyle, which is kind of a fail because, well, I guess you can't change your hairstyle once you've already done it. So that's kind of like a bit of a continuity error. Like that's the way they had to do it. They couldn't really fix that. So kind of like a little bit like, oh really? I mean, they did a similar thing with one of the pre-crisis episodes of Supergirl where they had Melissa Benoist in a wig and it looked so bad because it had been to be a story where before she had the new suit, so it did not work and it just felt weird. And also Barry went to the Elseworlds crossover battle where they're fighting John Deegan as black suited Superman. Like what the hell? And then Oliver has his hair grown back. Like that's a bit of a continuity error. So quite a few continuity errors because of the way that the characters looked back then compared to now. It just doesn't work. One thing that really surprised me, although I kind of got this spoiled on YouTube when I was looking at it, because let's face it, when you're watching these episodes live, people who are in different time zones in the United States get to see the episode early, so they get to spoil it. So I was like, really, like, oh my god, really, people? Because again, time zone is everything. If you live in a different time zone, the episode airs earlier than other people who live in places like Washington here, which is super annoying. But one of the things that they announced that they were going to do was like a rumor at that point, but apparently it came true. Was one of the people that were going to have in the crossover was the DC characters from the movies, like the DCEU, the horrible DCEU, which is a mess right now. I don't even bother watching it because it's so stupid. It's just the way they tell stories are just ugh. They have no idea how to do it, and they failed, and they just like they're gonna keep going with it. That's an entirely different video. After this review, I'll definitely talk about that as a December video because I have a lot to say about that. But they got the Flash from the movies. He appeared in Dawn of Justice, briefly, Suicide Squad, and then Justice League. I haven't seen Justice League. I never planned to because it was so bad. I heard it was so bad, and the trailer looked awful, so I'm never going to see it. But they got Ezra Miller as the Flash, meeting Grant Gustin's Flash. Like, people thought it was never going to happen. It did happen. It's perfect the way they did it. But, like, comparing the suits and all that stuff, it's just like, wow. I mean, I kind of got spoiled by it, but, like, at the same time, it was really cool to see that happen. Like, I never thought that we could actually pull it off and do it. People were thinking they should have the other members of the Justice League, but it's like, yeah. Well, I think it might have been said before that god awful movie. But also, apparently, the Ezra Miller Flash did not know he was the Flash. But apparently, it's set before that movie, so he wasn't told he was the Flash then, or he hadn't given the name. I don't know exactly, because that's what the comments were saying, but I don't know anything about that. It was a fantastic way of kind of connecting the universes together into one big multiverse. Like, oh my god, that was incredible. It was so cool. And one of the things that was shown in the trailer, actually in most of the trailers actually, was the Dawn of Time battle. Like, it was underwhelming to say the least. It was pretty epic, I guess, because you have all the Paragons fighting the Shadow Demons, and that was fun, I guess. And it's this big quarry. It wasn't anything really all that remarkable. It was fun, but like, yeah. I mean, one thing in this crossover, and also for Flash season 6, is that Barry seems to just like not have this mask on, like a lot, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, where does he put his mask? How does he put it on? Like, it's suddenly he'll be in a scene with his mask, and suddenly he'll be in a scene without the mask. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand that. The Dawn of Time battle was kind of fun, I guess. It was okay, I guess. Nothing really exciting. Just like, it's like them battling Shadow Demons, like, yeah, whatever. And then the Monitor showing up, and actually, this episode was actually the backstory of the Monitor, like, showing, where Monitor came from before he got his button chops and all that stuff, and just showing everything, showing a wife and his little base, which kind of looks like a TARDIS. Let's be honest, it kind of looks like a TARDIS. It really does. And the Paragons basically trying to find Marnu, and going to the dawn of time, and then Oliver dies for the final time. Like, oh my god, it's pretty heartbreaking, to be honest. I've never actually cried at any of these crossovers. I shed a tear or two at the Crisis on Earth X crossover when Martin Stein died, but that was a very emotional scene. So that kind of makes me kind of feel a little remorse and a little emotional, because that character's been in the Arrowverse for a long time. I mean, not as long as Oliver Queen, but still, like, yeah, because Oliver basically sacrificed himself to stop the Antimatter from creating a new world, like a new multiverse. And essentially what happens is the multiverse dies, it merges into one Earth, and that's where everything goes crazy, because Oliver's sacrificed. Like, he's trying to stop the Antimatter from creating a new world, and it happens, but like all the Earth merge, which is insane. So that's basically part 3. Pretty incredible, honestly. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was fantastic. I had really no issues with it. It was just like truly incredible. And then also having everyone react to the Earths merging. It's just like, oh, National City, everyone's still here we're on the same Earth. It's fantastic. And then obviously Team Arrow, consisting of Diggle, Renee, and Dinah, all crying, and it's very emotional. And I kind of felt a little emotional there, but like, I didn't cry. But yeah, that was really tough, because it was an Arrow episode, so that's kind of the way it is. And then just sticking all of them reacting to just being on Earth, which is fantastic. That's basically part 3. Part 4, though, wow, yeah, everyone comes back. That they reverse it. I think the way they endgamed it by quite literally, is that way, like, snapping everyone back. In this case, it's Oliver sacrificing himself so that the multiverse can be reborn, and in this case, 7 Paragons Earths all become one Earth. The multiverse does still exist, but like it's a different kind of multiverse. Like, it's every Earth that we ever knew has a new version of itself. So Earth 2, we no longer have Jesse Quick and Harry Wells. They're all, that Earth, Earth 2, Earth 3, everything like that. They have different versions of the Earth. So Earth 2 now has the JSA, which is actually Stargirl on that team is the new Stargirl for that new TV show, which is apparently part of the Arrowverse. So it's gonna be a lot of shows. But like, yeah, that was incredible. One thing that I was really excited about seeing was Nick Zena was credited in this episode, and he was in this episode, but he wasn't Steel. If you're having a Legends Tomorrow episode, you gotta have Steel, but like, he wasn't there because they don't want to be the crossover. It's like, seriously. I think it's also the tone of the show and all that stuff. But yeah, I definitely feel like the final battle was a bit underwhelming, to be honest. With everyone back, like, I wanted more heroes. Like, I mean, the one thing that we never got, and it was debunked apparently, people thought that was actually going to happen, and that one of the guys who was in charge of the crossover said it was going to happen, was having 3 Supermen in the same scene. Yeah, that never happened. The reason why is because, and I mentioned this in the last 2 episodes of this crossover, is that Tom Welling, known for playing Clark Kent in Smallville, he does not want to be Superman. He only did it once, and that was like under strict, rules. Like, he'd only wear the shirt to symbolize he was actually playing Superman, and then they would use CGI, because he never wanted to be typecast. He never wanted to be Superman. He doesn't like being that character. Unlike other actors who play the character, like Tyler Hoechlin, Brandon Routh, Henry Cavill, those kind of people, Tom Welling does not want to be Superman. He never wanted to be. When he did Smallville, he only wanted to be Clark Kent. That was it. He wanted to have the origin story of Clark Kent, and then obviously, like, a little bit at the end where he becomes Superman, and that was basically, and then have that sort of in the comic books. But he never wanted to be Superman. Like, that wasn't what he signed up for. And so with Crisis, they wrote his character so that he doesn't have powers anymore, because that's kind of a Superman 2 twist where he just goes with powers to be with Lois Lane. That was the whole thing, and that's kind of where I was a bit disappointed. But it's like, gotta give the actor credit, because he came back after 8 years to finish the story, to just basically tell the audience, yeah, I'm not Superman anymore, because he does not want to be Superman. He doesn't want to wear the suit. Like, people were saying, oh, he's gonna wear the suit. Now you're gonna have a scene with 3 Supermen. It never happened. The closest we got to a scene with multiple Supermen was, I think it was episode 3, part 3, yeah, where he had, the Brown Ralph Kingdom Superman, and then Tyler Hoechlin's Earth 38 Superman. That was it. That's the only thing we're gonna get because Tom Holland does not want to be Superman. He never signed up for it. Like he doesn't want to be typecast, which unfortunately became typecast. But he never wanted to be Superman in the first place, which is so stupid. But again, that's not the way the actor feels. He doesn't want to be Superman. He doesn't have to be Superman. So, but yeah, like not enough heroes, I suppose. Like we don't have elongated man. Although I feel like the way the crossover was being played out is that each part was supposed to be more focused on that team. So like Supergirl was more focused on that team of heroes. Each episode, really like the Flash was all about that team. About had more appearance. So no elongated man. I mean, I kind of was a bit disappointed in this crossover. It's been great. I really enjoyed it, but like they really could have done a lot more. Oh, they didn't have a limited budget, so they couldn't do everything. But at the same time, I really wish they could have done more with it, and that would have been a fantastic way to really make Endgame kind of feel bad about itself by not being the best superhero crossover ever. But like one thing that I'm really happy about coming out of Part 4, I mean they were literally back to back, so I had no way of just kind of process everything. But like Part 4, what I'm really excited about now is that just looking at the comic books, I never read the comic books, but I've been told a lot about them. Like I have an idea about what the story happened in that. So in the story of the comic books, that after the destruction of the multiverse by the animator who created a new universe where all the Earths merged into one, and the exact thing happened with this crossover. Every Earth that the 7 Paragons lived under, or even the 8 Paragons, all merged into one Earth. And then the remaining Earths in the multiverse got recreated into new Earths, like I said before, and so that it follows the comics exactly. So every TV show in the Arrowverse is now connected into one Earth. So you don't have to worry about anything. I mean, yeah, they're separate cities, but that doesn't mean anything because, like, in the Part 4, you have like, all Supergirl's Earth. Like, Supergirl's Earth? We're all on the same Earth, Bumble. Like, seriously. Every city that ever was is now on the same Earth. So, Star City, Central City, National City, Freeland, Gotham City, all 5 cities are now under the same umbrella. Everything. It's all one thing. So, I really like that because the storytelling is going to be a lot more fun. It's just going to be a lot easier to do crossovers. I think people are going to be a lot more interested in watching the shows now because everything's under one umbrella. Even Black Lightning, which is a show I held off on watching for a long time just because of the story wasn't all that interesting, and I forced myself to watch it because of the crossover. And then the more I watched it, it became less boring and less kind of like political and maybe like religious and racist and all that stuff. Like I didn't like all that stuff that was being represented, all the violence and everything like that. But like now that we have a new possibility of the story, we can really explore that, and that's gonna be really fun. So I think that now that everything under one Earth is gonna be a lot more interesting. So that's really good. Now the final battle, the final battle I'm referring to is actually versus the Animator, because in Part 3 there was a final battle between the Paragons and the Shadow Demons. That was okay, I guess. It wasn't nothing special. But then the final battle was pretty fun because it was actually kind of the things of like most of the heroes, not all the heroes, but most of the heroes fighting the Animator. And the Animator, oh my god, they do just like the comic books. Hero is huge, like huge. But they don't have every superhero ever, unfortunately. They're missing a lot. And again, the budget, they can only do so much. They can't have every single superhero in the final battle, but they had most of them. So the ones they have that I remember are I believe it was Paragons, which means Flash, Canary, Martian Manhunter. Although Martian Manhunter doesn't actually have his Martian form. He's in his costume, but he's in his Martian form. He does transform, but he doesn't. He just got like a separate thing. Supergirl, Superman, and then Batwoman. So all 7 of them are there. And then they also have like Wild Dog, Barton, Adam, like that's one point. Dreamer even, which is fantastic, I think. And also Alex Danvers does show up too. So like, not the best final battle. I definitely say like if I was to compare this crossover's final battle with any of the crossovers final battle, I would definitely say that Crisis on Earth X was a lot better because every hero from every show was in that crossover and had been introduced anyway. Like, that was incredible. I mean, not Firestone, because at that point Firestone had been separated and Marston had passed away, unfortunately. But, like, it was big. Infinite Earths was good, but, like, it wasn't as exciting. It was fun to watch, I will admit. It was fun to watch, but it was, like, they really just did a disappointment. They were really kind of, like, it wasn't all that climactic, because if people were like, oh, you can compare to Endgame. Not really. You can't compare to Endgame. Endgame had every hero that ever was in every MCU movie. But Crisis did not, because of the limited budget. They only had so much to work with, so they can only do so much, and that's just the way it is. But you still had a lot of a lot of characters present, which is fantastic. The Anime Monitor, just growing huge, and having Superman, Supergirl, and Martian Manhunter, and then eventually Adam fly in. That was fantastic, and also Bebo. I mean, obviously, if you're having a Legends of Tomorrow episode, you have to have Bebo because that's the way it is. But yeah, and I just it wasn't as epic as I was thinking it was gonna be, but it was still really fun. I really enjoyed it. It was fantastic. It just really they went above and beyond what everyone had expected they were gonna do, but at the same time, it kind of let us down because things didn't happen the way they were gonna happen. They kind of lied about it a little bit. I kind of all of the actors who were approached with the role of they were going to play again turn it down, just flat turn it down. It just never happened. One of the characters that never happened, that was in the trailer and even was teased multiple times, was Reverse Flash. He did not appear. And it might be that he's actually going to be in the back half of the season of Flash, so he might only be in season 6. Because he was not in Crisis. What the hell? If you're going to tease someone like that, you have to put him in the crossover because he was in the trailer, but no, he didn't show up at all. Unless you count Nash Wells, that doesn't really count either. But seriously, what happened to Reverse Flash? He was supposed to be in this crossover, didn't show up. God, it's so annoying. But a couple more things that I was very confused about was when the final battle ended and everyone was in their respective cities. You had Kate Kane, obviously Batwoman, in Kara's apartment in National City, not on her Earth, because now again everything's on one Earth, so it's just they're all just kind of spread out. All the cities are on one Earth, so under one umbrella. So it's they just can go to city to city, no problem. But Kate's in Kara's apartment. What? When did that happen? I guess a woman power, but what the hell? Where did that come from? I don't get that. That doesn't make sense. But yeah, no, still fun. And then also the biggest reveal that I kind of got a little tease of, but people were going, oh, they're gonna do it, and then I actually still a post about it. Barry finally formed the Justice League, or a version of it. They didn't name it, but they just here's the best we can meet if anything like this happens again. And Buck Living's really, you had this second happen? And then Jared's huh? Invasion across the Earth X. Even Elseworld, although I wasn't really part of Elseworld, but at the same time, it's still it's they've had 2 crossovers where they've had to deal with shit like that, and they don't want to have to do that, but they have to do it because they're part of the team. So he formed a version of the Justice League, or whatever they're gonna call it, which includes amazing. They had a whole table in the hangar. It was so cool. Have Flash, Supergirl, Superman, Black Lightning, Batwoman, White Canary, Martian Manhunter. They have a Green Arrow trip. I think that's to honor him. Although Mia Smoke will become a Green Arrow in the other show, but it's so cool. It's so cool to have that happen. I was really impressed by the fact that they were able to pull it off. It's perfect because the Justice League movie was terrible. I never watched it because the trailer already told me it was gonna be terrible. But they're doing a TV Justice League, so any crossovers from here on out are gonna utilize that. That's incredible. It's so cool. I love that. So that was really fun to watch. It makes me so excited about that idea. And then also, at the very end of the episode, we have all the new Earths. All the previous Earths in the multiverse. I mean, a little bit of a letdown, but I think that going here and out, it's going to be very interesting to how they're going to tell the stories of these characters in the Arrowverse now, because going forward, it's going to be a very different Arrowverse, especially with that Arrow, because Arrow only has 2 episodes left, and that's going to be it. And then, of course, there's a spin-off, which is apparently set in the future, which makes no sense how they're going to do that, but I guess we'll find out. But yeah, still really enjoyed this episode. It just wasn't as... I think a lot of people were disappointed about it, and it really... a lot of people were warning, yeah, be careful, you might be disappointed by this crossover. It wasn't all that horrible. I mean, there are things that I wish they could have done, have more Smallville in there. I would have loved that. To conclude this review, I think the Arrowverse is going to be very different because we have, 9 shows combined with everything, with Arrow ending... and that's going to be out the slate. We only have 9 shows, maybe 8. If you don't count the Green Lantern show, which might not actually be in the Arrowverse, I haven't been told anything about that. If this is going to be actually part of the Arrowverse, I heard it's possible it's going to be part of the Arrowverse, but I don't know yet. So you have the Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, Batwoman, Superman and Lois, Green Arrow and the Canaries, Stargirl. So that's 8 shows in the Arrowverse because Stargirl was confirmed to be part of the Arrowverse, even though she's going to be on the DC streaming app also, but she was also in as a cameo in the new JSA Earth. So not the old one, not the one that had before had different Stargirl actors, but the new one with the new Stargirl actress. That's a new version of that team on a new version of that Earth. So it's fantastic. It's really cool. I mean, they didn't change a lot. They didn't change all of Earth, but it was still really cool. But yeah, very very happy how this turned out. Just I was a bit underwhelmed by everything because it wasn't exciting. But yeah, I think going forward, like the fact that they're really gonna everything's gonna be affected by the crisis. Every show is. It's gonna be incredible. I think that's gonna be. I'm really more excited about watching it because before it wasn't all that interesting. Like for example, Black Lightning, Supergirl. It kind of became boring. Same thing with Legends. I think Legends, Supergirl, and Black Lightning became my least favorite shows in the Arrowverse to watch because every weekend. I don't know. They were just kind of boring, to be honest. Really, really boring. Especially last year, kind of boring. And then, now that this has happened, I'm more interested in actually watching it and actually keeping up with it and really enjoying it because of the way they're going to tell new stories, especially with everything on one Earth, which is going to be fantastic. But I will say, I am very excited about the new shows coming. It's confirmed that Superman and Lois is going to get a full series order, probably of 22 episodes, which is fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be awesome because everyone, not just me, but everyone has been wanting a new Superman show. Like, they've been wanting that to happen. And there's a new area of development as far as Elseworld, but Elseworld was going to be treated as a backdoor pilot for a Superman show, which it turns out it was not actually going to be. It was just going to be backdoor pilot for the Batwoman show. And now apparently this crossover was backdoor pilot for the Superman show, which is officially confirmed. It's going to be based off of the Tyler Hoechlin Superman, originally from Earth 38 before that was merged. It's just Superman of Earth Prime, the main Earth, which is fantastic. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say about Crisis on Infinite Earths. A phenomenal crossover. It was fucking awesome. I really enjoyed it. There just some things kind of let me down, but at the same time, it was really fun. I really, really enjoyed it. So, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the Arrowverse moving forward with these new shows and new ways to tell stories. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this review on Crisis on Infinite Earths. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. I really do appreciate it. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe for more videos like this. Also, make sure to click that bell to enable alerts so you don't miss any of my uploads. And I'll be back next time with another video. Right? See ya.